Hello, welcome to the TBMS lab. In this lab, we will now look upon the experiment number 5, that is uh, conversions and aggregate functions, followed by mathematical functions, date functions, and string functions. To do this, we will be using the Live SQL editor. Now, moving upon to the exercise part, as we discussed to our previous exercises, we will now use a customer table. We will now work with a customer table. So the name of a table will be customer. There we will be having the identifier as customer ID, customer first name, last name, date of birth, which is a date data type, and an amount to describe the balance, mobile, and the place where the customer is going to stay. So these are some of the attributes what we look into it. Then this part we are going to call it as data definition language. Then we will go with the data manipulation language. So in this data manipulation language, we will be using up the insert commands to input the values of CID, FNAME, last name, date of birth, balance, mobile, and city. And we will be inserting up around 15 to 20 tuples so that whatever aggregate operations, whatever conversion operations we want to do, that get a full-fledged data. So that's the reason why we are picking up at this point. So now quickly let us take up this query part. Use the Live SQL content. So livesql.urkel.com is the online compiler for this SQL we are using. So we using the same to execute for all the exercises. Once we get a login or a sign-in account to the Oracle, will be displayed up with the tab with the SQL worksheet. So we can directly work on the SQL worksheet here. So SQL worksheet, now we will use up these commands here. So now we are in a way to create a table called as customer. So whatever fields we discussed earlier, that is CID, all the fields are related. So just see whether the fields, the schema, how the table was done. So if we are in that, now we can hit the describe button and to understand that it contains the fields first name, last name, date of birth, balance, mobile, and city. So these are all the different attributes which were used upon to create up the table. So we can put this into our work area, that is OneNote notebook. Then let us put some insert commands so that we can get the exercises to be done. So now we have this insert command. So one row was inserted. Similarly, whatever rows we are intended with, so all the rows I'm taking up. So now the insert command, we can see it is insert into customer with the values of the table, and followed by the character they are going to be given up with the single quotes, and the date also we can mention it is in a single quotes, and when it is working with numeric values we are not putting up the things that case. Now we will hit on the customer table to understand whatever the attributes are mentioned were originally there or not. So now you can see that there are some missing values, etc. We intentionally gave those missing values to have some corrections or the query processing items, etc. So we now you can see there are 13 rows which are inserted with customer IDs 510, 57, 66, or 74, 86, A4, C3, D4, E5, L1, L7, L13, and some 502. In this way, we get some customers. So we will take up this into the working area, and thereby we can put up this at this point. Okay. So this is what we are expecting, and that is done. So for safe understanding, so now we need to understand for each and every query. So for that, we will use up some of the repetitive tasks. So we will use the same table again. So fine. Now let us start with the aggregate functions here. Let us start with the aggregate functions. So the first type of aggregate function was the first type of aggregate function what we will look up at this point will be the place where we can mingle up the entities with the average A, B, C. So we get this average function here, and average is one of an aggregate function. We have average, we have minimum, we have max, and some. So these are some of the examples, and if we want to count the number of rows, etc., so we'll be using of the count and etc. So now it was the average of balance. So we have around so total number of rows are 13. So obviously we will take up the balance of all these entities and make a sum, and then we get divided by 13, then we get the average. So that will be the answer at this stage. So so how we are in this process, etc., so that we can take up the query, very simple query. So this was the case what we were talking. So move this to our working area, and then we can start up working here. First tab is the tab where we can hit the queries, and second tab is the tab where we can see the queries they get executed. So now we are going to get the average and average balance of the from the customer. So that's how we get. If I can put the same query, and then I can say basic thing. So sum of the balance, and then if we are hitting in this model towards the run button, so instead of average, we will be getting the sum. Similarly, there is the wrong mismatch error because it was not intentional. So now let us look into this value where we will be getting the minimum of the balance. So we will be getting the minimum of the balance here. So now we will be checking up what was the minimum balance in that customer division. Similarly, we can have another function called as max. So when we hit on the max, we will be getting the maximum balance. So we made average, we made sum. Then we can even use the basic command that it is with the count. How many balances are available? How many rows are printed up? So if I am going to hit it with the city, so count of city, then obviously intentionally we made some content. So we will have this model. Okay. So 2 times we have taken up the customer. That's the reason why it is repeating the values. Now the thing was, let us see, we talked about the average, then we talked about the count, and the maximum of balance, minimum of balance, and then let us see the standard deviation of the balance. So we can measure with the standard deviation of the balance, so STD, DEV. So the standard deviation of the balance also we can hit and get the values. So what was the standard deviation, etc. In this way, we whatever intended we are going to fix, those intentions can be looked up with the values. So what the best practice was when we hit up this query, and if we are going to get the answer there itself, if it will be better for us, it will be a quick response, quick understanding for us uh, regarding so count of customers. So it gives the total names, the total number of records in the customers. So it is going to give 26 customers are available. The same 13 are repeated again because in the earlier we hit the same function. So that's the reason why we will be getting customer count. It was some 26 here. So similarly, if we can look what was the count of the city. So intentionally we made two empty locations. So we made two empty cells here, so that we repeated for two times. So that is the reason why 2 plus 2, 4 cells are going to be empty at this point. So that's the reason why instead of 26 we are going to get the count as 24. So this was regarding the count function. Similarly, we identified the minimum balance, that was 1000 in our earlier part. So 10,000 in our earlier part. So for quick reference, we can put up this. Similarly, we have the maximum balance also we made it. So maximum balance was around 75,422. So we put this with the minimum and we put this with the maximum balance. So then we also worked on the sum example. So sum of the balance of the customer. So when we need to select the command, we need to completely select it, and thereby we can make a hit operation. So then only we will get the query, it can be executed appropriately. So we can have another statistical operation like variance. So what was the variance among the balance? So standard deviation followed by the variance. So that we are going to apply it to the numeric values here. Similarly, we have 13, we have 26, 26 rows available from the customer. Now we want to know, or we want to understand, so total number of customers, we can see it up. It is repeated entries, so we get 26 rows. They are in the customer table. Now, what we are going to look into this was uh, we will um, first put the data set here. Then, if it is interested part, we can say that is select length of the first name from the customer. So, what are the first names length that it is going to be found? So, for that we will be using another interesting attribute called as the length of first name from the customer. So all the first names which are available for the 26 records, all those 26 are going to be highlighted. So that's where we will be getting the length of the first names of the customers, so that we can select it up and put it into our working area. It will be a quick reference for our understanding. So next one was to work with. So hope we have done with the conversion functions. So we had made with the conversion functions, etc. Now let us look with the some of the mathematical functions. So when we work with mathematical functions, we should understand there was a dual table where it is a one-dimensional table and it is a default table which will give the answers as when prompted from the dual. So at this case, we should understand that power of 2 comma 3. So 2 power 2 whole cube. So we will be getting the power function. So it is one of a primitive. And the basic thing was we should understand dual at this case. So dual. So dual is going to be a 1 by 1 dimension table, and it is an empty table and it is a default table in SQL. So purely it is prompted with the system content. So now let us check up with the exponential part, with the exponential part here. So we will be saying exponent part. So for that, how it is going to be printed, we will understand. So exponent of 2. So obviously it is how the answer has to be resulted. So we got this as 7.38 odd. So 1, we talked about the exponential part. 2, we talked about the power function. And let us see this. It's interesting that we are now applying the mathematical function in form of power to the customer ID. So we have customer IDs earlier as 5, 550, 10. Then we got it as some 566. There are of course numeric values and character values, and see how this it goes. So invalid number, the reason was we have some character, it is a varchar data type, but we didn't look into it. So let us see whether if it can be applied for the balance or it can be applied for the mobile. So what we can do is we can put here as balance, and thereby we can put, instead of CID, we can put the balance and see balance square, how it goes. So you can see for each and every 26 rows, the original balance is printed, and thereby we get the power of that balance, and we ask to display the first name of the customer. So the first name of the customers like Vahini, Swati, Lashya, Rohini. So these are some of the names where it is getting up with as we gave the first name as the query. So what we will do is we will also take the query so that it will be a replacement for the existing query what we pre-compiled it, and now we will take up the answers, so that will be a quick reference to understand the things. So next, similarly, we have some interesting content. So let us look up to these values. So one, we can bring it up. Bring it up with the values called as square root. So another mathematical function was it is square root of 625. So we expect the answer as 25. So here we are going to use a dual table. As mentioned, dual is a one-dimensional default table in SQL. It's an empty table where it is specially used for user convenience to display some system data. Predefined functions can be invoked via that table here. So that's the reason why we are going to put up this dual table. So we got this dual table. Now CID is numeric. So what we can do is we can type mobile, and then we can put up the square root of mobile. See how it goes. So you can get this, the square root of mobile number is taken up, then the square root of the mobile is again taken up and followed by the names. You can see here Aarti, Taruni, followed by Swati, Jasmine. So there are some of the names where the students are there. So that is where the customers are as mentioned here. So what we will do is we will take the SQL query, put it into our working area. Similarly, we can take up the answers here, and then we can move it to the working area. It will be a quick reference for us to understand. Now we do have the trigonometric values which can be supported by the SQL. So we have a lot of trigonometric values which you can see here with this cos, sine, tan. So anything is going to be linked up. So just hit on the run button and see what it goes. So now you can look up the answers here. We got cos, we got sine, we got cos h, and we got cos 90. So that's how we will put the values here to our working area. So for and similarly, the interesting part was we have a negative number. So that negative number, it would be converted to a positive number. So for that we will be using the absolute function. So absolute function is a function which it is going to convert the negative number to a positive number. So we are going to hit on the run button. So now -5 we are giving, and it is converting to a positive number. So that is, it leads up with the absolute value. It is leading up with the absolute value. So this is somewhat quite interesting, that deals with the string function. So here what we can understand was, we will be looking with the length of the first names, and then we will be checking whether the first name contains A or not. So hit this query and understand what the answer it is going to bring it up. So it is bringing up the first name of 510. So the 510, the name was in length was 10 in size, and you can see here a space is also going to be counted, and there is no at that position. So now we will take up this result, put it into the work area. Now another interesting part was to use with the trunc and to use with the round function. Another interesting part was to use with the trunc and then the rounding function. So here we have the values. We have the values round. So it is some 45.926, and it should look up with the second position. So it should move up with the second position itself. So for that we are going to bring it up in this model. So when it is 0 to 5, it should be less, and if it is from 5 to 10, so this is lower, and when it is 5 to 10, then it moves to the upper. So 2, it is going to give the position where it should round off, where it is going to round off. So that is, it says round at the second position. Okay, round at the second position. So 45.926. So but here you can see 6, that means it is greater than 5. So implies what it does was, we need to move it to the second position. So when it needs to the second position, so we put it as 95.93. So we need to set the second position. So that's the reason why we are going to round the value at the second position. So what we can do is this in the SQL part and observe the importance here. So we are taking this as 45.926 and the second position from dual. Now, if we are with the same, and then if we are looking towards the trunk value, so if it is towards the trunk value, now the position you can expect will be only 45.92. So we will not be expecting much at this case. So whatever value it is at the second position, now it is not looking into the what we can say 45.926. So at this case it is going to check it up. So 2 we call here as a position. Now trunk to the second position, and second position it is second position is already less than 5. Therefore what it does is it is 45.90. So that's how it is going up. So this is quite bit interesting, and we can even look it up with the modular function. So when we work with modular function, it is picks up the remainder part. It is going to take up the remainder part. So for that we will use a modulo part. So mod from the dual. So mod of 1600 to 300. So we do have a remainder at this case. How we will be putting up the modular part. So 1600 and 300. So we get 16 here and 100. This part we call it as remainder, and it is potent. Now this remainder is going to be printed as the modular value. So now these two are quite interesting implications we should understand. It gives us a clear picture of what this round and is. So we now it is our turn to understand in this case. So as mentioned, when we were telling it is 45.926 comma 3, so 96 comma 2, so it moves to, so fix up to second position. That means 45.92. Now but I have a 6 which was greater than 5. Therefore upgrade the second position. That is nothing but the round the second position to next higher values. So what we can do is we will be getting 45.93. Now what about this 0? So 45.926 to 0. Now we don't need any of this, right? So that means we need to suppress the 3 digits in the fraction part. So it is 45.926. So we need to round it as it is greater than 5 and 2 less. So it moves to the ring. So we give it as 46. So we make this sensitivity as a 46. how it goes. So we'll be working on this. Now you can see the answers. So round 40 round of 45.92, it is showing it as for 45.93. Then if it goes with 42.926, so it suppresses the three positions, and as it is 0.9 and nearing to the next decimal, next numeric part, so it goes with our full rounding value 46. But here this is quite interesting. That was it moves to the entire position. That means 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. So in this model here it will work. So the discussion here was, now let us put the scale. It is 10 to 20 a scale, 20 to 30 a scale, 40 to 50 a scale, 50 to 60 a scale. Now our value was 45.926, and what is the higher scale? The higher scale, it is 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 and 50. So now it is 45.9. So it is already crossed at this position. So now it is going to move up to the next position, that is goes towards the 50th position. So that's how we are going to look up. So it moves in a scale. So I can call it as a tab, where 10 to 20 as a slab system. So it is between 40 to 50 here. So if it would have been another value called as 42 like this, then it would have gone to the value which is lower part. So just execute this and see what will be the answers. So now you can see it is the value which it moves towards the 40. So for simplicity understanding, I can bring up the values here and I can show you the scaling system. So the scaling system was, you can see when it is 42.1, then it is at moving towards the 40th scale. But if it is similarly at the 45, as mentioned, it is at the 45th position, then it moves to the upper end. Then it is going to move up to the upper end, and then it is displaying the answers towards 50. So that is the takeaway from this interesting part here. So you can observe the two changes what I was mentioning. It is 45.0, then it is 50. But when it is 42.46, then it is moving to 40. That means I'm going to have a slab system like 10 to 20, 30 to 40 and 40 to 50 in this way. So the positions are going to be taken up. So 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 and 50. So now when it is going to be with the value of 42.9. So this is the break point here. So 45.9. So now it is the value of 42.9 is at this, so it moves towards the lower end. But the value of 45.9 is at this position, so it moves to the upper end. So that is the scenario. That is the scenario what we have to look. So that gives a lot of importance at this position. Now let us see what will be the values when we are going to use the value called as a truncate. So it was 45.93, 46 and 50 as observed. For the same values, now we are going to hit it and check what happens. It is moving towards the truncated. So it always moves to the lower side of the values. So we can start analysis here, bring the values into the work area, then then it was like this. So now you can figure out 45.926 when it is towards the 2 position. So 45.926 comma 2, that means we need only 2 positions, it is ignored here. So we will have between 0 to 5 as one scale, 5 to 10 as another scale. So it is 0.92, it is lower, so we will be getting the same value as 45.92. Now what if it is with 45.926 comma 0? So it is already with the next upper side, so we will be getting the value as 45. Now the same thing is going to be intended here when it is -1. So 45.926, even though it is the towards the upper side, the truncate, it is moving towards the lower side. So round, it moves towards the upper zone, but when we are going to use the trunk, it moves to the lower zone here. So that's the key takeaway what we should understand from this. Next comes the interesting part, that is working with the date, that is working with the date functions. So we have to understand what was the present date, of the system where we are going to work. So for that we can use this date and time function. So let us bring back this to our work area for understanding. So date function. So again date and string functions in another lecture. Pause at this case. In the next video we will look with the date and string functions as another part. Yeah, we will end up here.